nice. Okay, it looks better. Okay, so hey guys, this is I'm using my phone, but I still can't tell. Okay, so this is kind of the introduction to my decks, and I'm going to do two different sets. So the first set that I'm doing now, and it's just going to be one video, is going to be on my decks for personal use and what attracted me to use them for personal use as opposed to featuring them on with the readings that I do and featuring them in things if I were to take it to do a reading for someone like a friend or something like that. So what the decks are, why they're personal use as opposed to um, non-personal use. And then the second set of videos, it's going to be 10 of them. It's a 10-part series because I do my not readings, but my decks by planet. So the decks that you're going to see are for each planet. So I'm going to have to divide all of them and then do a video on each planet and why I put the deck in certain things. And they might overlap. Some of them might be put in more than one video. But for the most part, it's going to be a deck in a certain planet's video. And then we'll go from there. I already did the the video on my deck bonding process. You can watch that. That was posted the day before this one. I don't know when this is going to come out. It should come out today. But yeah. So that is the video that I'm going to do. So first is first. I have about 12 decks that are for personal use. And the reason why I don't have that many for personal use is because I have an altar space up here and I pull decks for that altar space specifically. And I also find that doing readings for myself is very confusing. I'd rather watch readings or pay for a reading to be done, just because readings done for myself, there could be a lack of clarity coming forth in the reading depending on where I am personally. And I'm at the point in my life where for myself, I can watch a bunch of readings and I still do. But for myself, I'm more in the space of contemplation, meditation, reflection, as opposed to eagerly seeking out answers. And a lot of the videos that I'm watching now and the people that I'm subscribed to on my like personal YouTube are more, they're less entertainment and more reflection, spiritual advice, growth, and stuff like that. And I do watch a lot of pick a card readings, but for the most part, the people I'm actually subscribed to don't really do a lot of those. They do more of videos that I think are for people who they don't necessarily want a specific answer to a specific question. They want a an analysis of a situation or an analysis of what's going on and kind of guiding you or giving you advice to move through it, as opposed to this is going to happen, this is why, things like that. So it's, I think, longer term advice as opposed to like some of the other people that I follow that I like going through videos, so I don't mind it. So we're going through tarot first. There's only 4 up here, and maybe I have more somewhere, but I don't think I have any more personal decks just laying around. So the first is the Zombie Tarot. I think everything's going to be coming out, reversed here. So this is the first deck that I bought. So, for people who give advice, do Rider Waite and stuff like that, I can't give you that advice. I give you the advice to follow what you desire to get out of tarot, and then go from there. If you are drawn to certain decks, certain thematic elements, or certain systems like Rider Waite, Marseille, Thoth, then go with that. Whatever you're drawn to, there's a reason why you're drawn to it, and there's no point in getting the classic deck or a specific deck as your first one just because someone told you that that's it. I got the Zombie Tarot because I was gonna say I was terrified of it. I was not, actually. I was terrified more of my demon deck than this, and then that one wasn't even that harsh. So this is what it looks like. I blew through it. I did do readings with it for other people, like my friends and stuff like that. Just checking the time. Okay. For other people at some point in time. And I did a lot of readings. And the time that I bought this deck, I was interested in like a specific person, and I was asking a lot of questions with that, and there wasn't that much self-development and growth with this deck. It answered a lot of the questions, and that kind of like obsession, let's just put it with that, call it what it is, ended up, I think, wearing this deck out, because now I don't use this deck at all. It kind of aged. I mean, it looks aged, if you can see, really aged, and it's only like 3 years old. But it aged, like in my mind's eye, I could see it like on a like old southern house porch, and I just saw it as an old person, and I think it kind of aged out probably from overuse, and now I just kind of keep it. I don't really do anything with it. If I do pull something, I pull one card. I try to just do one card for myself. But yeah, I enjoy it. It smells like smoke from my sage and Palo Santo and all of the other stuff. So this is my first deck, and I love it. I just don't really use it anymore. My second deck is, and this is in no order of when I got them, it's just tarot and oracle or whatever. This is the Mother piece. This is what it looks like. Front. Now this is the small like pocket edition. I do have another edition. It's larger. This is what it looks like. It's a circle, and some of the images you can see. I wonder how clear this is, but that's what it looks like. And I got this because I wanted to do womb scrying, yoni scrying. As a concept, I think that it's important. And with my own like issues being a woman and having a womb and things like that, I just felt like I wanted a deck that had that kind of center in its making. So that's what that is. And the artwork's pretty cool to me. There's gonna be some decks that like may not be my personal style of what I would go see an exhibition on or have or hanging on my wall, but that I was intrigued enough to have it. Like this artwork isn't particularly my style, but I feel like it's the energy that I'm attracted to with the deck that led me to buy it. Next we have Art of Life Tarot deck. That's what it looks like. The back. And then it opens up like this and it sits down like that. So this is a 78 card deck. I think this is Gustav. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it starts with a K. Klintz? Is that it? I don't know. It's 78 cards, right? 78 cards. But each card has like the suit, the number, so 6 you know, high priestess and artwork, right? And then it has a quote. And I love that. I love contemplating and thinking on the artwork, what the connection is between like the title for the card, the artwork, and the quote that was chosen. Because like I said, I kind of got out of doing more predictive stuff for myself, and I tend to not lean in predictive ways in general. I kind of want to analyze stuff and intuitively figure out landscapes and how to navigate them. So I'm less on that wave now. I think people come to tarot asking questions about specific things, and then they realize they want to ask questions about not so specific things that are a lot more nebulous and require a lot more time and thought, and really is kind of like the step off the cliff towards shadow work and self-discovery and self-actualization and realization. But a lot of people use, like, I'm not gonna rag, but like, does he love me as like the gateway drug to that process. So if you're one of those people that started your spiritual awakening due to relationships, that's how I started mine. So this is an example, another example. So 4 of Pentacles, the picture, and then the quote, since you can't read it, it's probably going to come up backwards. And if it doesn't, then great, but I think it does. Ordinary riches can be stolen, real riches cannot, and your soul are infinitely precious things that cannot be taken from you. So I'm gonna read that again. Ordinary riches can be stolen, real riches cannot. In your soul are infinitely precious things that cannot be taken from you. Oscar Wilde. So I like that. So what I do for my morning routine is I plug this deck, the Mother Peace deck, and the third deck that I'm going to show you. And I put them on my altar, and then I put other decks on my altar. So next we have the Mythic Tarot. I think, what's her name? Carolyn. I think she's the same person with this. I think it's Carolyn Smith. Yeah, I think it is, because she has a really dope art style to me. I really like it. So this is what this looks like. That's the back. This is kind of the general, if I put it like that, the general art style for it. And again, like, there's some decks that you kind of look like, this isn't my style, and then it totally is your style. When it comes to reading, like, it gets it. So this deck, I got this deck because I just like her stuff. And I think I gotten the Oracle, this Moon Oracle that I'll show you next, I guess. And I like the style that she has. And there's a few, I think there's like one more deck that she has that I might be interested in getting. And I decided to get this one. So it has all of the major arcana, and then it has like the minors. But the minors are like, I guess what do they call them? Pippish. So kind of like the Marseille style, where it's not really any like scene in the background. You get that with the court cards and the major arcana, but it's more like just the element represented by like a branch or like this tree. Air is birds. This is water, so it's like this little fountain. Where's air? Where's an air one? This is fire. This is air. So it just states it by what the element is. It's not chalices. It's not staffs. It's earth, fire, air, water. So, like it says, it'll say Water King as opposed to King of Cups. And then the major arcanas are just, they're cool. They're numbered and they have symbols on the side and stuff like that, like glyphs and whatever. And I just like this one. It's straight it's pretty straightforward. I feel like this is a very light deck. It's not a heavy hitter in terms of you're going to do like a lot of shadow work with it, or it's going to interrogate you. I think you kind of just, it's kind of a flirty deck to me. It's kind of, it keeps it light, simple, it delivers its message, and then it goes away. It doesn't really try to linger and pull you down like a Mary L. A Mary L wants to like devour you into the earth, kind of. That's how I feel with Mary L. It's kind of heavy, and the Wild Unknown is kind of heavy too. If you interact with it, it's a very heavy deck. It's a Saturn deck in my collection, so that's why I feel like it's heavy. So oracles and stuff like that. I have the Moon Oracle. So let the phases of the moon guide you. I don't read the guidebook, and that's another thing as far as how to use stuff. So like it does, I think, tell you how to like use the deck, but like I never read those parts. I barely read the book, to be honest. I'm just more intuitive, and I feel like why get in the way of that? But it comes with this introduction that I didn't read, and diagrams and stuff like that that I didn't look at. And if you're interested in the moon, then it'll tell you different phases and degrees and what it means and angling and stuff like that. And then it has this mansion, because this is a book that's based on moon mansions. So there's in here, 28 moon mansions. Yeah, it's based on the 28 moon mansion. And each mansion denotes kind of where your moon was when you were born, or having a moon in this mansion, or when the moon is in this mansion, what it means. So if you're interested in like I think it's kind of like the Arabic Islamic moon mansion, kind of that direction. I know Chinese I think has it as well. Those two you probably would jive with this because it goes through that. It's kind of like that. It won't have the same names as like the one that's like Islamic or Arabic. But yeah. So it actually has 3 sets of cards. So the first set are the moon mansions. So this is what some of them look like. And they're numbered. In the corner you'll see In the corners, you'll see planet glyphs, and then you'll see the degrees for each. What degrees, because each planet, each mansion is a certain degree range for signs. So, it started 0 degrees Aries and go to 8 degrees Aries. That's one mansion. And then 8 degrees, 1 minute or whatever. Aries to Taurus, 0.5 degrees Taurus or something like that. That's how it goes with that. Then you have each element. So it's all the phases of the moon for air, earth, water, fire. So it's quite a bit of these cards actually. And it'll tell you what phase this card is representing. So this is a new moon, and then, or they put it as black moon. And they'll have a keyword down here, revision, dormant, 8 element, stuff like that. And then the other cards that I don't have right now are the goddess cards. So they have different goddesses. They have full moon goddesses, dark moon goddesses, red moon goddesses. So Isis is in there, Artemis is in there, Lilith is in there, Hecate is in there, Kali is in there. And so there's different cards for that. So this is for people who I think want to learn about moon systems. I had a phase and I grew out of it, and that's what that is. So next we have Don Miguel Ruiz's The Voice of Knowledge. It's a 48 card deck. So this is based on like the Toltec wisdom, I believe. So if you're into the 4 agreements, I think there's the 5 agreements now. I think that's a book. It's into that. So this is the front. So it's just a card like this, and the back. So the card and the front part has like a nice little catchphrase type thing. And then the back is more explaining it. So this one is: the mind is fertile ground for concepts, ideas, and opinions. Boom, that's the statement. And then the explanation is: if we believe a lie, that lie takes root in our mind and can grow big and strong like a tree. One little lie can be very contagious, spreading its seeds from person to person when we share it with others. So that's kind of like the concept and explanation and stuff like that. And it goes pretty well. I don't use these as often, but I will pull it if I feel like I want to just think about something, you know? Apologies if the light starts to change. I mean, I had a class earlier and then it ended at 4 and I started doing this right after. Even though I lied and said that I was going to do a video on new moon stuff first, I just got ahead of myself and was like, why not? So I just did this one instead. But so this is the healing deck. If you like the Enchanted Tarot, you might like this. It's not the same concept, but it's by the same kind of collaborating authors and writers. So it comes with this little fold thing that I don't read because it doesn't really need anything. Yeah, it tells you why it's designed and stuff like that. I just looked at it and saw it. So, but this is what it looks like. So it has the keyword at the top, a picture that you would recognize as their style, and then like a little, not quote, but like the Toltec one, like the other deck I just showed. So it looks like that. And then the back, when you read it, gives more of an explanation like the other deck. So this is persevere. I keep going even amid difficulties. And then the back, perseverance is the secret of all successful people. Without it, ambition, talent, even genius and luck are not enough to get you where you want to go. All healing techniques require patience and perseverance. So it's just a little bit to think about. So kind of like motivation. Not like you can do it, but this is an element that is crucial for whatever that you're doing. And to not have it would be detrimental to you. And explaining why it would be detrimental to you, or just letting you know. It's kind of like someone who's older than you that's been through something. It's just like, hey, it's like a critical element. So like these are fundamental elements of life, and where you need to use them and why you need to use them. It's important. And most of these guys I got on eBay. So eBay or Barnes & Noble. I like Barnes & Noble. And I've been able to still go because like we can still move around, but you know, mask and everything. This is the Shamanic Healing Oracle cards. This is another wound deck for me. I feel like it's kind of hard hitting. It's a deck that if you suffer with some sort of body trauma, somatic trauma, and you want to do somatic experiencing or some sort of body work, release work, emotional release work, this is good for you. So it's kind of like this, there's a technique where there's like a black piece of paper. It's reflecting, I'm sorry guys. But it's a black piece of paper and you etch on it and scratch it, and that's kind of what this style looks like. And it also kind of could look like maybe some people if they're used to Aboriginal drawings and stuff like that. And I don't know if this is Aboriginal artwork at all. I don't know. It may be. I think it may be a part of that tradition. But this is what it looks like. And this is the back. And there's actually a card that's like titled, not this, that's titled like this because it says Shamanic Healing Oracle. But one of the cards looks like the back. So just don't get confused, I guess, with that. So that's one. It's another. I like it. I think if you've had a soul that's been crying out for a really long time, you would enjoy this deck. This is definitely when you're in the thick of the dark night of the soul. and you kind of progress to be able to help others who are in there, then I think it's good for you. This is the booklet. It's a small booklet, but each page is given a space for the card, and there's, in this booklet, there's 44 cards. So it's a pretty good sized deck. This is The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. I enjoy this deck. I just feel like it's very free. I mean, hence the horse, but very free, very calming. I definitely feel like, though, from this deck that the person who wrote it has very strong convictions about some stuff. Not that it doesn't agree with me, but I can feel that there's a little bit of sturdiness to it, that this is not this, it's implied that these are truths, ultimate, maybe universal truths, which if you're somebody who shifts around a lot, what you know to believe shifts, you may not like this. And this is the first time I've actually picked up on this, but I feel like it's very important because I think that there might just be some things in here, not that they've rubbed me the wrong way, but if you were to look at it and you feel like you don't necessarily agree, it might be off-putting. That's the first time I've ever thought about that. He does have books as well. I think it's just one of them is The Untethered Soul, and I think they might be like another book or two. And here it says, "Who are you really?" That's basically it. When your core belief of who you are, like the universal truth of who you are, is challenged. Yeah. So you have different cards that look like this. They all look the same on the front, but they are different shades of blue. And then some of them have different titles. So this is Freeing Yourself, Experiencing Energy, Living Life, Awakening Consciousness. I think that's really all of the different Going Beyond. Yeah, I think those are the different topics, but I like it. I like meditating on it. It's really peaceful to me, and I like it, so I got it. Next is an unknown botanical deck that I got off of eBay. I don't know what the title is, but this is what it looks like. This is the back. Nope. I don't know. This is the back, though. And this is the front. So each card comes with a glyph at the top that symbolizes the major arcana, because it's a major arcana only deck. So each one is doing that. And then some other ones that look. And even though it doesn't come with what this means, it does come with, well, it did come with, for me, 2 cards that will show you what they are. So let's see. We have this one with the one that looks like the, is it 2 rows or something like that? Kind of glyph, whatever. It's actually, this symbol at the top is the symbol for death in this deck. And the name, I can't really pronounce plant names. What is it? Pinus? Contorta. Classy. Pinus. I want to say Pinus. Contorta. I don't know. I didn't take classes like this growing up, so I don't know. But that's basically what it is. Very mature. Soul cards. Soul cards. So there is a 1 and 2. I don't know if there's a 3, but there's a 1 and a 2. So it's kind of glossy. They're really glossy cards. This is the back. And then the front, to me, I can rotate it, and depending on its orientation, that's how I interpret stuff. But I'll get kind of the mental alert if it's supposed to be upside down or up right side up. And again, not something I would look at in an art exhibition. I would run right past this shit. But in deck, it's like your soul is trying to be free and light and everything. And it's a cool, yeah. So that's it for this. I think I showed this one already, but I got this because I've been drawn to it for a long time. I just like the idea of it being like, I think like this, like if you were to open your body up, I feel like that's what this is. If you were to open your pineal gland up and like you know, in the movies or on, yeah, like the movies where you like open a hole and then the camera goes through the hole and it's this whole universe, like that's what this kind of symbolizes to me. So, and I feel like it's okay for body work, but I think this is more of a mental body work kind of thing. I think it's more of a mental third eye, opening that throat chakra, kind of with a tinge of heart chakra work in there. Yeah. Like it. Recent purchase in the last like 3 months, the Fairies Oracle. So this one I enjoy. I enjoy a lot. I like the guidebook. I think it's dope. I think like it's awesome. I think it's awesome. And it's very detailed. It talks a lot about what the card means, processes, mental clarity. It's an interesting card because it's from the realm of fairies, the fae, or fairies, gnomes, mystical creatures, like in that capacity, not necessarily dragons, demons, ghosts kind of thing. So I think if you're into like forest creatures, mythical forest creatures and stuff like that, that are in that more earthly element with a little bit of water, you would enjoy this deck. This is what it looks like. And this is the backs. So the backs are reversible. It's very thin compared to what I thought it was going to be. And then there's a card that looks like the back.